It is 7 o'clock on the bubble. So I kind of want to just get this conversation started to talk a little bit about this weekend. Talk about the race, the questions that we all have around the race this weekend. Any last minute discussions that we need to have around facilities, that sort of stuff, and then just kind of let you guys know where we're at with the race flyer for our next race as well. So with that, I kind of just want to open the floor. Tina, Dallas, Sarah, do you guys want to kind of take it away a little bit?
Dallas, I'll let you kick it off. Facilities, is there anything we want to say about buildings? Anything? We'll go to Sarah.
Yeah, so we have the 3 facilities there that we plan on using. The league one that we were holding for the league team, we will end up opening that up to share with a couple of the other teams to try and spread folks out. In the case that we do get some rain and people want to step inside to take some shelter for a while, those 3 are all right there next to each other. They're pretty good size and will hold just about all the teams. Might be a little tight, but there would be room if for some reason we need to take just a little bit of shelter there for a while. So we will get that straightened out as the teams come on, try and just even it out just a little bit, because I think there's five teams in one of the shelters. So we will try and spread it out just a little bit to make more room for everyone. But those are really nice. They have water, they have electricity, so opportunities for cooking, cleaning, whatever you guys need to do, but again, to also take shelter too. So but as far as shelter goes, I will tell you, I have been looking at about 15 different radars. If NICA does anything well, it is provide you so many different avenues for checking the weather. I spent like 2 hours last night like charting this thing, and I feel better now than I did like a couple days ago. So I really think we're in a really good position. The way we've seen rain right now is the kind we want, right? It's not big gully washers. It's kind of long, slow mist, which is perfect. It's what the ground needs. It's what we need to keep moving forward. So I really feel really, really good about it, right? So there is a little concern, Saturday evening, that, we're going to get more than we've gotten so far. But again, I still feel really confident in that forecast has moved all over the place. And again, I've watched just about every radar we can watch and feeling really good about it.
Frank, do you want to jump in there?
Yeah, I was going to suggest shelter 3, the one you guys are setting up in, does not have water, but shelters 2 and 5 do. And then you've got 2 and 7, 6 and 7, which are 6 is relatively close and it has water as well. It's right across the lake. So it's not all that far. It's actually not much further than 2 is.
Okay.
So if we need it.
Okay.
Good deal. Sarah, you want to do trail and anything infield and anything? She goes like this.
I just hope it all goes out. There's not really much to say other than that. Let's race.
Yeah.
A question. So in trying to think about parking and not having a lot of traffic going in front of the infield and crossing where the course crosses the street, if and Ryan and his group from Emporia rode the route up next to the pond instead of going down the middle of the campground and up the road and onto the gravel, and they rode next to the pond. Ryan, you have share any comments on how that felt?
Yeah, grass isn't extremely tall. I don't think it's going to be any worse than anything else we've encountered at the other courses. So I think it'll be fine, especially the more tracks we get on it, the more packed down it gets. by race day, it should be good. Are you planning on trimming it down with the mower at all, where the
I
course is
can't,
gonna be laid out?
it's been mowed. It was mowed, I don't remember what day you guys were here, but it was mowed either Friday or Saturday.
Okay, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine.
And I can bring my mower down there and knock it down some more if need be.
Cool. It's gonna be a fun course. You guys did a good job.
Yeah.
Sarah, you okay? Sarah, you okay with that?
Oh, I never had a problem with that. Yeah, that was fine.
It's not what was published. And that's why I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, once that map is published, it's really hard to change the course. Courses are always up to the discretion of the race director to be changed race day. So, it'll all be marked out and be good to go.
It did just freeze up more parking.
No, yeah, we had discussed that, and that's absolutely fine.
Okay.
So real quick, this seems like a good time while Sarah's talking about the course and we're talking about moving it around a little bit. I can't stress enough the importance of pre-writing this course.
Dallas read my mind. That's the Tina pitch tonight. Yes.
Absolutely 100%. You need to pre-ride this course without a doubt. You need to pre-ride this course, and you need to ride it more than once. And there are probably sections that you need to ride together as a group and stop and talk about them, because even the best of our riders, it's not that the course isn't anything that our riders can't handle. No doubt in my mind that they can't handle them, but there are sections where if they don't keep their head and pay attention to what they're doing and get to going too fast, there's an opportunity for them to pay a price for not being prepared for what's coming up at them. And so again, I can't stress enough the importance of those sections, writing it together. There's nothing here that most of these kids have not seen before. It's not. But it is.
I've got a question real quick about the pre-ride thing.
You got a pre-ride. Yes.
So I've got like a parent that wants to volunteer to do sweep, but they're nervous of doing sweep without having pre-ridden the course. So they want to know if they can pre-ride during like the Saturday pre-ride time block.
Yes.
If they
and they should.
Sweep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Yes, they should. Yes.
There's nothing that stops them from riding it when we're done too, right? It's an open park. It's an open course. They can ride it as many times they want. It's just, we have the pre-ride NICA time. And then when we're done, right, thunderclap, whatever that thing's called, it goes on. And then it's your time, but
no thunderclaps, dude. No thunderclaps.
It brings the rain.
Yeah.
Make the best of your time and the opportunity to really take in as much of that course as you can. I had Severn out there riding on it. I'm not worried about anybody riding on it. It's just, I want to make sure everybody is prepared, because there are spots where you can get going, and there's a downhill section that you can get to ripping, and if you're not paying attention,
are we gonna have a course marshal or something right when you first cross the road by the course entrance? When
Yeah,
they come ripping in there and it's like a cliff.
Yeah, there's actually several. We have way more course marshals on this course than we've ever had at a race. So every avenue every spot that I thought we might need an extra pair of eyes or maybe two eyes, there's this person there. So
yeah. So I'm going to round this out, and then we can just have some conversation and just have some Q&A. We've got Frank on. We're going to have him talk a little bit about the park, but I'm going to close this with saying Dallas and I have talked about this week, and the EMS wonderful people at Fort Scott. Had several conversations with them. Guys, it's a fun course. Sarah made an awesome loop. It is fun, but it is technical, and we're really excited about that, because this is what these kids, that's what they do with practice with you. They're learning their skills. So put those skills to use. But we know we've got some fast kids. And as Dallas said, if there's some spots you don't have your wits in your head about you, where you're going, you could pay a price for being ignorant. So let's have some fun. But my biggest concern is safety. Are our kids safe? I love that we have podiums and I love that we race, but we've got 135 kids we want really coming out Sunday afternoon, go back to dinner in one piece. So pre-ride many times, stop, talk session many times. There's a few spots on it. And as Sarah said, we have more marshals on this loop than we've ever had. So put their skills to test and have a great time. And yes, if you have parents that want to volunteer as marshaling and sweep, please let them get a hold of us when we're setting up, and they need to be on that course with some of their wheels too, if they're going to be sweeping. So have fun, but let's be smart this weekend. It's a technical course. Okay. And with that, I'm going to kick it to you, Frank. You want to get a little bit of just some combo about Gun Park? Anyone that's not been there? Any Q&As that you guys have for him after he's done?
We're really fortunate in Fort Scott. We have, for the size of our town, 7,000 people, we've got an awesome park. It's all together with the trails and stuff. It's about 150 acres. Has 2 ponds, river runs next to it on a boundary. Our trails are, for those of you, we've got sections that are a lot like Lawrence River Trail because they're down in the river bottoms. And then we have sections that are a lot like Wyandotte County, Waco, away from the river, that are somewhat hilly, a little bit rocky. I was surprised that Sarah chose the course that she chose, but I'm excited because it's going to be a fun course. We host races here at least once a year, if not twice, and we're accustomed to the road crossings. I've got people signing up for traffic control that know what they're doing because they've done it for every one of our races. So I'm not, and I run a construction company, so I've got lots of equipment I can bring in for barricades and blocking roads off and so forth. My comments earlier about parking and small reroute is just allows us to stay off the road and the gravel and get on some grass over to the trailhead that frees up some parking, so we won't have a lot of traffic going past the infield and where the course crosses the road. Trails are in great shape right now. My team, we were out on them last night. We rode the course multiple times, trying to beat the grass down a little bit and getting some time. Your faster people will probably, just FYI for you guys, because I know you're kind of wondering this. It's right at 1.8, 1.9. And we had a high school senior last night that is a road guy, but has started riding trail a lot. He did an 11, he did a 10.5 minute lap. So just FYI for you guys. I don't know what that means, but your Liam will probably do a 10.5 minute lap. Other than that, you already talked about the shelter houses. All of them will be available. There's 7 of them total. 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, no, 4 of them. 4 of them have water. 2 of them are heat and air, large, but only 3 of them are really close to the infield. So we're real excited. I mean, we've got what we think is a great venue to host you all, and we're excited to host you. Questions?
Yeah, questions, guys. Any comments, conversations?
I've never been to Fort Scott before. Can you help me understand if there's like any restaurants that are able to facilitate, say, 50 people that I could call ahead of time?
A very busy weekend in Fort Scott.
There's other things going on too, right? There's like an ATV convention or something.
Yeah, there's some sort of mud run thing, or not a running thing, but vehicles. So four wheels, big 4-wheel drive trucks at the fairgrounds driving through mud pits. Not my thing, but yeah, they're doing it, and they're expecting a lot of people in town for that. So yes, there are 50 people, 40 or 50 people calling ahead. There's Luther's Barbecue.
Yeah, I'll second Luther's Barbecue. I've been there before and it was pretty good. And they got quite a bit of seating in there.
Yeah, they do. Sharky's Pub and Grill has quite a bit of seating in it. What else? Pizza place called Papa Don's has quite a bit of seating. A couple Mexican restaurants, and then you've got your fast food places that I don't know if that's what you're looking for, but we got McDonald's, Arby's, Wendy's, Taco Bell. About it.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if we're specifically going to do a team dinner or anything like that, but I know that that's something that a lot of other teams do as well. Some do it around the campfire, some do it offsite. So just thought I'd throw that out there.
Understood.
Mhm.
Good question.
Yeah. Hey, directors and everyone, take time to go take your kids out on the town and walk and see. The fort is amazing. There's history there. Their main street is like impeccable postcard cool. So get out of the park, set up camp, do our fun stuff that we do, but be sure to get your kids out. As a nerdy historian, that town's cool. The fort is right there adjacent. It's awesome. Yeah.
Well, and the mud thing at the fairgrounds is something that the kids might enjoy Saturday night, rather than sitting around a campfire or something. Plenty of space to park or to camp in the park. I think the goal is to kind of keep everybody somewhat centralized in the kind of near the infield and near the shelter houses, which is fine. Got the Dallas, any other RVs coming in that I don't know about?
No, actually, I think I have a question for one more that I didn't get back to, so I need to respond to them. But no, currently no.
Okay.
Actually,
Anybody else?
So all the RVs that have said they would be there, will they have some electricity, or just 2 of them are getting electricity?
Good question. There are 14 hookups. And I've been told that to expect 13 RVs. Only 2 of them have 50 amp hookups. Rest of them have 30 hookups. And then those that don't need hookups, I mean, park's closed and city's allowing us to go wherever we need to go.
Great, thank you.
Welcome.
From a pit zone security, like you're talking about, the park is open to ride the trails afterwards. What's everybody's thought process around leaving bikes overnight, like at the pit zone area, or should we bring them back to our campsites like we normally do? Kind of Tina, Dallas, Sarah, what are your guys' thoughts there? Should we expect to bring them back with us to campsites and hotels?
so if you're in a hotel, I would say that's part of the reason for the shelter house. There should be plenty of room to put bikes in the shelter house. I would always recommend that because we don't know what the weather's going to do. So put them in the shelter house. I think outside of that, I'm not real worried about somebody driving in and sneaking up and loading up a bunch of bikes. So more of just trying to keep them out of the elements. If we happen to get rain, I would put them in the shelter house. And that was the idea behind having the shelter houses available as well, was so we could just put them in there and you wouldn't have to haul them everywhere.
Cool.
Yeah,
Super helpful.
In fact, with the park being closed, there are gates at the front entrance that we can close in the evening, and they won't be closed during the day because we're trafficking through the spectators and volunteers and so forth. But at night, we could close those gates. They don't have to be locked, but they look like they're locked, and that would just divert traffic as well. It's what I do when I'm having races. Close the gates.
Awesome. Does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about with the gun park race? I mean, I'm sure everybody's just amped up, ready, and checking their phone every 20 minutes. But let's race. All good? Awesome. So from a league perspective, the race flyer is currently under the works right now for the Lawrence race, Snake Farm, waiting on a couple of last minute things to get that thing out there and posted. I actually have it posted on our website right now, but the volunteer link is not the correct one. So after I get the new volunteer link, I'll repost it. But just as kind of a tease, it's out there on the site if you want to go look at it, knowing that it will there will be a version 2.0 within the next couple of days.
Let me ask a question. You run into most of the races you go to where there's just a lot of people that don't sign up on the link that plan on showing up, and they're not.
So are you talking about volunteers, Frank? Day of volunteers?
Yes.
Yep. And Darby are amazing. She's on here. Darby, if you're in a way to unmute. Yep. Darby is our volunteer state coordinator, and she does all that.
Yeah, we do have a lot that wait until the day of, which does have some challenges, but it works out in the end. So we just roll with it, Frank. We just have to jump in there and put people where we need them, and we always make it work. But the sign up is awesome, and we're certainly getting better. We currently, for this race, are approaching 50% full as of now, which is incredible. So awesome.
Well, and like we had a group ride last night, and I know half a dozen of us, and all of the guys I rode with were planning on being there and helping out, but none of them. They're all like, "I'm not going to get on the site and sign up. Sometimes I'm going to show up and see what needs to be done." Like,
yeah.
Okay. What you might want maybe already full.
That's right.
Trying to convince them of that, but they don't get it.
Yep.
So
as long as they come help set up, we need set up Saturday.
For sure.
It's a big infield. Yes.
Yes.
I would really like to get my hands on that volunteer sign up sheet for my races. It's just pretty stinking cool.
Hey, Tina, what time is setup starting on Saturday?
Sarah, I don't know what is it's not an official time that we go, yay, power clap, we're setting up. We get coffee and we walk out there, we start setting up. Oh, she's on mute. You're on mute, Sarah. She is not.
Yeah.
You're on now. I can hear you now.
No, it's got it. Yeah, volunteer shifts start at 9 on Saturday typically. But we're usually, like Tina said, out there earlier. Yeah.
And Frank, I'm happy to help you get comfortable with sign up. It's awesome.
Say that again.
I'm happy to help you get comfortable and familiar with the sign up app for your volunteers too. So
is it just an app?
Yeah, it's an app or a desktop. We can definitely talk about it.
Sweet.
Yep.
It saved me a lot of phone calls come race time in September.
Certainly.
Hey, Frank, have your guys that are volunteering bring their bikes, because a lot of times the coaches and parents and whoever else end up sweeping. That's where we lack a lot of volunteers. So that would be a good thing. They'd probably enjoy that.
Yeah, I'm sure they plan on bringing their bikes and in hopes of sweeping. And that's what I was telling them. I know you guys probably want to be roaming course marshal or sweeping after a race, but those spots may show up quickly and you don't get to do that. So you got to get on and sign up. They haven't done it.
Get a workout.
All right. Anything else? Gun Park this weekend, guys? That's where we'll be. Heading to Fort Scott, Kansas.
I think
And the
we're
weather's
already.
going to be fine and fancy.
Optimism. I love
It
optimism.
is. I text Frank Waugh this morning. I said, Frank, it didn't rain. And he was like, I can't believe it. I was like, we're not getting rain. That's it. Optimism.
So I
There we
told
go.
you I told you yesterday, I think in an email, that I was going to be getting a lot of calls. And I've had at least half a dozen calls of people saying, when are they going to do it? And it's like, I'm guessing they're just going forward. That's what I would be doing at this point, because you
Yes.
can't base it on a forecast. Now, if we got 3 inches of rain tonight, then we'd be having a different conversation. But you can't base it on a forecast, because particularly what's been happening lately here is everything's been developing east of us. And yeah, so who knows?
Yeah. Our NICA weekends are super special and they're way too big of a production to base on a forecast. So we're going to go forward. We got a bike race to put on in a really cool venue. Sarah rocked this one out.
Will there be a last minute, like, hey, by Friday at this time, if we're getting dumped on, somebody alert everybody, or no?
Currently,
Yes.
there's no forecast to get dumped on by Friday night.
Okay. Right.
And unfortunately, the forecast is for Saturday night. And it gets better every day. I mean, like as Dallas was suggesting earlier, yesterday it looked really bad. Today it doesn't look as bad. And tomorrow it's going to look even better, right there.
Yeah. And we have eyes on radars that we don't have access to. We call people with radars and they have access to. That's why we call them.
So from a communication perspective, though, should something need to be communicated out in terms of the weather, will we be using Facebook for that? Will we be using?
It'll go out through Mad Mimi.
Okay,
It'll go out through Mad Mimi. And Alicia, I see in the chat, we're not making the call by Friday and that communication won't go out. We're going to watch what Saturdays is, because a rain delay is plausible. Even if we get some moisture Saturday night, we have the option for a rain delay. So we're moving forward. If there is a tornado coming through, we'll have some communication through Mad Mimi. Yep.
We don't have tornadoes here.
Nope, we don't. We're not.
Well,
We don't have tornadoes in Kansas. I don't know what you're talking about.
My wife is from the East Coast and she's been here for 40 years, but I've been telling her for 40 years, we live in a valley. There's a river that runs through here. Tornadoes skip right over the top of us. Don't know if she buys it, but I still tell her that.
Yeah. Frank. Yeah, Sarah's right. Knock on wood, because I've been in 5 tornadoes, like saw them. There they go. It's another Zoom.
All right. So thanks everybody for the great conversation today. Really appreciate it. Frank, thank you so much for coming on. Super excited for this weekend. Everybody's just watching the weather. We know our communication channels. And thank you guys so much for your time.
You guys are awesome. Real quick, I want to thank Sarah, guys. She brought Fort Scott. A lot of conversations like, hey, go to Fort Scott, go to Fort Scott. And several of us were like, what the hell, Fort Scott? Sarah scouted it. She and Dallas have ridden it. They've looped it. They mapped it. It's going to be an awesome weekend, you guys. It's going to be fun. So kudos.
Sure.
We think you want to come back here every year.
We might.
We do.
All right, guys. Casey, you're the best. Thank you, friends.
Casey, the Lawrence link is in the chat in case you didn't see it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.